check out our whole video, hit the link on the bottom of the screen. That video is available exclusively on odds.com. Raiders, Falcons. We're just going to go down the rotation numbers. So let's go. Raiders, Falcons is where we start. Raiders 6-4, 4-1 on the road at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons, 3-7, 1-4 at home. Raiders open up at -2.5. Now they're sitting at -3. This total's gone from 56 down to 55.5. The Raiders offense looked very good in their 35-31 loss at home to the Chiefs. Their defense was unable to get stops when they needed them, but Derek Carr looked excellent. 23-31, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. 2 of the 8 incompletions were throwaways. 4 were on target or very close to on target passes that should have been caught by Aguilar and Alec Ingold. And 1 was a desperation interception at the closing seconds. Aguilar caught 6 passes, 88 yards, 1 touchdown, but had a couple costly drops. Darren Waller looked excellent, unguardable. 7 catches, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. The Raiders ranked 31st in the league with just 11 sacks. That's tied for third fewest for the franchise through 10 games in the Super Bowl era. They just added Takk McKinley and Vic Beasley, 2 players that the other teams in the league don't want, but do have an upside. Richie Incognito, their guard, underwent season-ending foot surgery. He's been sidelined since week 2. He had hoped to return. The Raiders had hoped he would return. He's not going to. Las Vegas waiting to find out whether right tackle Trent Brown, linebacker Corey Littleton, defensive end Cleveland Farrell, or the defensive back Lamarcus Joyner will be able to return from COVID-19 this week. Offensive tackle Sam Young, running back Jalen Richard, defensive tackle Maurice Hurst are all listed as questionable. Let's start with the Raiders. Did you like what you saw against the Chiefs, and do you have interest on backing them this week?
I mean, I absolutely liked what I saw coming from that Chiefs game. You had the Chiefs out of their bye week, which Andy Reid has historically been great at. They've hit unders. It's part of the reason why we jumped on that under, or I did anyways. But this Raiders team is starting to believe in themselves. Offensively, they look fantastic. Defensively, they still have a ton of problems. I don't know if Beasley and McKinley will be the answer, especially because McKinley just keeps failing physicals everywhere he goes. I don't know if he's just failing them on purpose to try and get to a contender before the end of the season. Just whoever claims him, the better that team gets every time he fails. But yeah, to me, I worry about these games that are so obviously wrong. Like, the Raiders should kick the shit out of Atlanta this week. Atlanta was awful on Sunday. Atlanta's been awful a bunch this year. This Raiders team is getting it together. They're playing well. They're believing in one another. They're starting to get healthy in the right spots, and especially if they can get guys like Lamarcus Joyner back. How great is Jonathan Abram as far as just a guy who plays at 1,000,000 miles an hour and lights people up? This Raiders team is becoming very fun to watch, and they're just a lot better than Atlanta. And I don't think, as much as it was a difficult loss for them to especially in the fashion that they did, they scored the touchdown late. The Chiefs answer, as we've seen them do time and again, but they've already beat the Chiefs once this year. I don't think that loss hangs over them. I think they keep gunning here, and to me, this is a no-brainer for the Raiders.
It's the Falcons that make it a no-brainer. Coming off a 24-9 loss, or if I move to a no-brainer status, but I can understand because of how bad the Falcons looked, and let's go over it. 24-9 loss at New Orleans. Matt Ryan, 19-37, 232 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had no time. The offensive line was terrible. 8 sacks. Atlanta was 2 for 14 on third down. They couldn't move the ball on the ground at all. 14 carries for 52 yards as a team. Season low totals for Todd Gurley of 8 carries and 26 yards. His longest run was 7 yards. That's another season low. Calvin Ridley led the receivers with 5 catches for 90 yards. Julio Jones had 2 catches for 39 yards before he left with tightness in his left hamstring. He did return to play a few snaps in the second half and then left again. He's listed as questionable. He's not going to practice this week. In the first 4 games under Raheem Morris, the average time of possession was 35 minutes and 12 seconds. That led the NFL. I spoke about it. And then that fell to 26-12 against the Saints. And that might just be because the Saints defense is that good. The Falcons defense looked awful to a Saints offense missing Drew Brees. Gave up 378 yards, 168 and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Rookie cornerback A.J. Terrell was the bright spot. 6 tackles, 1 turnover. He stripped from the quarterback from Taysom Hill. Young Ho Koo, good on field goal attempts. I mean, the guy's rolling 24-25 this year, 5 for 5 of at least 50. And then linebacker Mykal Walker, his hamstring is listed as questionable. Birdie says Falcons have the Saints on deck. Jones got hit by another sniper again. I really like the Raiders here, but for some reason in this moment I'm hesitant. This line is not jumping like I thought it would. Strategic Investment says Raiders are 6-2 against spread in their last 8 games after scoring more than 30 points in their previous game. And if Julio Jones is out, I mean, this is just very simple almost.
To be honest with you, I don't know if it matters if Julio Jones is in. I mean, Julio Jones, we all know he's one of the best receivers in the NFL, but this Atlanta defense doesn't have a prayer at stopping this Raiders offense right now. The Raiders offense, and I was on them at the start of the season. I said they were good there, weak on defense, but they've even exceeded the expectations I had for them on offense. And that, we've talked about this 1-2 punch. They have Jacobs is a menace, and then Booker comes in and picks up the pieces. Like I just don't see how Atlanta stops them. Look, anytime I'm this bullish on a team, I'm worried. I don't know why the line is as close as it is. Like it would make more sense to me if it was, 4.5 or something sitting around there. But again, I get it. The Raiders got to travel, but to me, this is my gut, my brain, everything says Raiders.
It's very interesting how the market worked. They at the main indicator books opened at 2.5 and was there for 7 minutes. Hit 3. As soon as it hit 3, the Falcons got hammered. That stopped, but the Falcons got hammered for an hour and a half, and that made the Raiders 3 at plus 105. It's now back to a minus spot, minus 105 or minus 110. But the last time we saw a spot like this where we expected a market to move on the favorite and it didn't was the Ravens-Patriots game. And we got hurt badly.
But, I mean, again, let's talk about how much that weather affected that Ravens-Patriots game.
Yeah. No, I hear you. There's something very scary in the NFL when something looks easy. And
and that again is my apprehension about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about with recency bias. I mean, the Falcons have been bad all year. The Raiders have gotten incrementally better as the season's gone on.
I don't know. I thought remember I said it on this show last week. I thought that if I wish the Falcons weren't playing the Saints, because I got really caught up in what they were doing with Raheem and how they were holding the ball for 35 minutes a game. I got caught up in it. And so I thought they were an improving squad until I watched Matt Ryan last week look out of sorts. And is he out of sorts because of how good the Saints defense is, or is he out of sorts because of how bad the Falcons offense is? That's the question that needs to be answered. So,
yeah. I mean, I think the Saints defense is very good, and they've, especially as of late, have played much better. But I just think it boils down to Atlanta just doesn't have the personnel they need to be a better team.
Okay, we've got to move because we've only been through 4 games and we're 52 minutes into the show. Robert Allen says 34-27 Falcons win the upset. Dezar also back in the Falcons. Strategic investments at Falcons 5-1 against spread in the last 6 games after allowing more than 350 total yards in their previous game. Nilo says Atlanta is a broken team. Ashwin Tatakola says might as well relax and take the first half over. And the market here for the total, you have another situation where, so this is the same situation as the Ravens-Steelers game. The Ravens-Steelers game has a huge amount of cash on the under and more tickets on the over. And this is the same here in the Raiders-Falcons game. 58% of the cash is on the under. It's dropped a half point, but 66% of the tickets are on the over, which means the big bets are coming in on the under. Okay. So no move for me at this point. But are we going to sit here in 24 hours and see the Raiders at -3.5 and be angry?
No, I want the Raiders right now. I want them at -3.
Okay, you want them at -3. Okay. Let's get you that right now. Bebsie coming in on the Raiders. Raiders, here we go. Raiders, full game. Let's see what we can offer them. A -3. The best we can offer you is -109, and that's at Bet America. Raiders -3, -109. Bet America. And all right.